little intro there for you. You were in the intro spotlight.
Pretty good about that, John. I saw. I was like, oh, he's got me in the intro.
Hey.
Thank you very much. Happy to be here today. Excited.
Yeah, man. Well, it's always great to have you on, and it's always just great to be able to connect, and it's just incredible, fascinating conversations. I learn every time I'm able to connect with you, and so I just appreciate you making the time. Your calendar's been crazy. It's just like we said before. The last 9 working days, you've been speaking 8 of them. So
right.
Crazy.
I feel like I'm John. I'm channeling my inner Johnny Kitchens.
I haven't been on a run like that. So kudos to you.
You're still my fave. I still think you're the best coach in the business.
I appreciate that.
I admire you greatly. I love what
you do. Man, I want to jump right in because
Sure.
we can rock for quite some time, and I really want to get into the focus around the conversation that we're going to have today with really proximity and leverage, getting in the right room, getting around the right people, timing, everything that kind of plays into that. So, man, I'd love for you to just dive in and kick us off.
Thanks, man. I love it. I'm excited about it. One of the things that I found recently, but you get a changing market, right? And everybody's like, oh, the market's changing. All these people are throwing out these stats. And I heard a guy speak the other day, and I thought he was really good, and I liked a lot of what he said. But one of the things he had said, I kind of made me go, he said, 2 out of 3 real estate agents licensed today, as of today, 2 out of 3 will not be in the business by the end of this year. And I'm like, I don't see that, right? And then he's like, yeah, the market has shifted so horribly, and it's just a bad market. So you're going to see only the strong survive. Now, I get the concept of only strong survive, but I have to strenuously object. And I don't see that. I mean, our team today, right? And for any of you that know who I am, I run a really good team, and I'm very fortunate that way. We're on the Mark Z team out of Michigan. We're the number 1 team in the state. We're number 22 in the country. We do tons of transactions. We're going to do about 1,100 transactions this year. So we're pretty excited about that. This month, when this guy says this to me, and I'm just the other day, and I'm literally listening to this guy, and I'm like, he said, I liked a lot what he said. And then he said that, and I was just kind of like, I don't know. Because the market has shifted. But what it did was it gave us an opportunity to sell a heck of a lot more homes. And people are like, no, Curt. No, listen, the inventory has been light and slow. So let me give you an example. In Metro Detroit, we sell in a normal market with a lot of supply, right? So or a lot of supply, which we don't have right now, we sell somewhere between 5,000 and 6,000 homes a month. Well, in Metro Detroit right now, we're still clipping at 4,000. So yeah, we're 1,000 down, but we're still selling 4,000 homes a month.
Yeah.
So it's not like, if you can't get one, what are you doing? There's 4,000 people buying a house this month, and I know the supply isn't as big, it isn't great, it isn't as long, but at the end of the day, the supply is still there enough for you to sell some houses. So at the end of the day, when I listen to this guy saying these agents are out of business, I looked at our numbers. Today's the last day of the month for us, and in August, and we just hit a record, right? We closed. We're going to close 96 deals this month. So closing's 96, but our record is we're right now at 100 and I think 11 or 112 right now. 112 was 111 5 minutes ago. 112 new homes that we sold, new pendings. So we've got right now 112, and we still got the rest of today to go. So that's a record for us of new pendings in a month. We've hit 100, but we've never done 112. So that's a record right now. So I'm listening to this guy, and I'm like, we are having the greatest month we've ever had, right? For new pendings. It's like, what are you talking about? Now I get it. Our listings are down, but we're finding listings, Johnny. You know where the listings are, everybody? You want the secret? Wow, everybody listening. Stop chasing listings. Get the listings. Here's how you get them. Talk to more buyers, right? Guess what? 3 out of 4 buyers own a house, right? 1 in 4 don't. They rent. So 75%.
Got to be one of your listing strategies,
right?
List your buyers. It's got to be one of your listing strategies.
Yes. It's like, how do you attract agents? Well, you do it through production. It's all about production. Every real estate agent, what do you make money in? Selling homes. That's what we do. Yeah. So we miss the boat there so many times, in my opinion, of what the angle is or what people's approach is. Well, I think the missing on the listing side, you want more listings? Go talk to more buyers. Because guess what? 3 out of 4 have a house, and 2 out of the 4 want to sell their house in order to buy the new house because they can't afford it without
they have to. They have to. You know, I mean, it's he was probably dropping some knowledge, yet when he threw out that statistic, it discredited everything else. And what all 70% of all statistics are made up anyway. So, you know, hey, and I'll piggyback on what you just said. You know, Jack and Michael Perry out of Salt Lake. I mean, they closed 100 deals this month. Like, tell me that homes aren't closing.
Right, they are all over the place.
Yeah,
you know, I look at it's one of those things, right? Is garbage, right? And trash. Trash never stops, right? You're never going to stop having garbage. You have to throw things every single day. We generate trash. So the landfills are always going to be needed. You're always going to have to dump more things, right? I'm not getting the recycling conversation. I'm saying there's trash, there's garbage that you throw away every day. That doesn't stop. You go 1 week and all the trash companies don't pick up trash hauling for 1 week. That's a mess, right? It's ugly. It's ugly. And what does that bring? All kinds of other erosion problems, all kinds of things. So when you look at that, well, housing, are people just stopping getting divorced? No, it's happening at record speed, John. Records, right? We're breaking records into percentage of people getting divorced. Well, guess what happens when they get divorced? Somebody has to move out. That means they got to go live somewhere else. That means they need a house. They have a housing issue, right? And most of the divorces end in selling that house. So it creates one sell side and then two buy sides, or one buy side because one's going to live with someone else or whatever that may be. This is what happens. Do we stop having babies because all of a sudden we said, the housing market is not great, so let's just not have any babies? Growing families are growing, John. It doesn't stop, right? It doesn't change. They're still going to need a bigger house. We've got more kids. We need more space. We need more bedrooms. I got them stacked.
Well, right? Even think about, the age demographic that's moving into assisted living.
We do, John. I mean, what the real shift isn't the market. The market's always moved, John. You've been in the game a long time. I've been in real estate 18 years. I'm going on 19 now. But at the end of the day, the truth is the truth.
Right.
The market
and what you're sharing, just so everybody understands, is that Curt's dropping indicators that doesn't matter whatever is happening in any market. There's an indicator that will always cause a move. Always.
100%. But what we fail in is realizing every market's a good market. It's good for the buyers, or it's good for the sellers, or it's good for the buyers, or it's good for the sellers. Guys, just pick a side. And then when it shifts, pick that side. Yeah. Don't be a one-trick pony.
Right.
And I try to explain this to a lot of agents, and I get to coach a lot, and I get to on, and I love it. It's enjoyable. But when I see these agents selling more homes, I mean, that's the trick, right? That's where you know you did it right. And when you get them to understand every market's a good market, stop putting yourself in a corner and painting yourself into one thing. But don't do that. Now, secondly, what we fail is, which I have my little behind you, is we fail is understanding, everybody's heard time is money, money is time. Well, which is it? Time money, or is money time? What do you mean? Well, am I exchanging my time for money, right? I'll work for X dollars an hour and you'll pay me. Or am I making my money and then I have to dictate how much time I spend to do it, right? Am I owning my time or am I owning my money? Which one dictates what? So in real estate, what we're in is we want to make the money, right? Everybody wants to double their incomes. Everybody wants to go to that next level. Well, if I asked you, John, and humor me for a second, if I asked you, what's more important? Doubling your income in the same amount of time that you're working now, or making the same amount of money you make, but getting half your time back? Buy half your time back, make the same.
All about the time.
Right? So it's funny. You and I, because we look at it as a business, John, we always want our time back because I can do a lot more.
Yeah.
Well, the funny part is the bulk of the agents, they're still going, no, double my income. And here's why. They don't have an exit strategy. They don't have a next step, next level. It doesn't really exist. And I know I make some agents mad when I say this, but I just spoke at an event last week, and I asked the room, I pulled the room. In that room, every agent in that room, I made them raise hand from one or the other, right? We picked side, and I made them literally stand up and move across. But when I did it, it was amazing to me because I really thought I would be about a 50-50 split, because the room had so many seasoned agents that are 20 plus years in the business. So 2/3 of that room were 20 plus years in the business. I'm like, oh, they're all going to want their time, right? That's an easy. No, they all wanted to double their income. They said because they got 20 years in and they're nowhere near ready for that next step. If they don't sell another house, they're broke.
Because they don't understand. And this is what I say to everybody about EXP, is that this industry is an industry that does not have an exit strategy. And if you are not like it'd be interesting if you guys tried to sell your brokerage. I know what we sold ours for. You would laugh if I told you. Remember the Kyle Whistle story? Because Kyle was selling.
Right.
And the offer they laid out on the table was like, this is dumb. I'm trying to be free and you're sucking me back in for what I'm getting. I'm sucked in for 3 years with this. He's like, no way. There's got to be a better way. And so when you look at these agents that are 20 plus season, like my heart kind of goes out to them, right? Because there has not ever been a solution in this industry to have a real exit strategy.
I agree with you more, my friend. And that is 100% the problem. So when you start offering solutions, and we all understand, we're all looking for the solution. Well, here's the truth. You want to make more money, solve a bigger problem. The bigger the problem you solve, the more money you're going to make. Right. And there's other people talking about these things, and a lot of stuff that I talk about, I learned from others. So just so we're clear, I'm not that smart, and I don't create anything. What I do is I learn from others very well, and I pick up where they're at, and I try to put it into terms that more people are doing. So I'll share a lot of these things that I've learned, and what those things are is you don't need more money, you need more people. If you're selling real estate, do you need more money? Because that deal can only give you so much. It can only yield so much money. But I need more people. I need more clients, right? So I need more people. Well, then you need to make sure that client spawns you another people. Right? Mm-hmm. You need another person from them. I need referrals from them. I need to make sure that that's a source for me. It's not a one-time shop, one-time, one-hit run. The agents who do that are never building anything. So agents that have been in the business a long time, they have that referral business. Problem what they don't have is they don't know how to manage their time. They wait for the next client, right? And the next client drops in the lap, and then they run with them, and then they go to houses. They run on the client's time. So they're running on the client's time to try to make their money. They're not running their business, running their money, and then valuing their time.
I love that.
Doing it back.
I love that. There's a great podcast I've been pushing out to everybody to listen to. John Harp out of Columbus was the one that turned me on to it. It's on Ed Milet's podcast. He had Rory Vaden from Brand Builders. And, we had always heard return on investment. And then we'd also heard ROT, right? Return on time. And he said, no. He says it's ROTI, right? It's return on your time invested. And, there's a lot of people out there that understand investments, right? if I'm going to invest this, what is going to be my return? It's just that little distinction, Curt, right? And distinctions are the gateways to change our future. So a little distinction of, holy shit, my time is invested. What am I getting in return for that? Right? Like that was it was like a light switch moment for me. Is like, man, I just don't look at return on my time. I look at, okay, I'm investing my time. What is getting my return for that? And it's just powerful.
Yeah. And you're spot on. Right. And I can listen to you all day, my friend, because you're so right. But what happens, right, is people, they don't understand the game, and they really don't get working in their business versus working on their business. They'll get caught up in it. No, I'm working on my business. I'm calling this client, I'm chasing him, I'm showing him houses. I'm working on you're not working on it. You're working in it. Right? Yes. You're in the business. You're sucked in. You're being used for your time, or you're chasing a buck, right? So you're doing this. So you're not valuing it. You're not building your simple. And let me just simple and dumb this right now. Most real estate agents are pretty good salespeople. Either they're good customer service people, so therefore real estate's a good fit, or they're just really good salespeople. So I don't need to be taught how to sell. I just need to really be taught how to not sell, right? Everybody wants to buy. No one wants to be sold, so stop selling. So I teach, I coach, I preach, and I've got a blog, I got a YouTube, I got all this stuff where I stop selling, start helping, right? Just help, just help. If you come from the position to help and you're genuine about it, people will gravitate to you, never buy or sell without you.
Right.
You'll build that PT, that person. Then you'll get referrals from that. Because everybody will tell you, man, the experience was wonderful. Focus on the experience. Don't focus on the money. Money's already there. You know the money's there. It's a percentage. So if they're buying a house, I already know, well, if they're in the 200 range, the 250 range, the 300, I don't care if it's 10, 15, 20,000 more than the other. Who cares? That's pennies, right? The dollar's already there. We know what we're going to get. So focus on the experience. Give them everything. Focus, laser focus. Now, when I say give them everything, I had an agent tell me, Curt, I do what you said. I gave them everything. I'm not working 24/7. Like, person, stop saying you work 24/7. You don't, right? It would be impossible. So we don't. But what happens is we start telling these clients these things. We set them up for failure because we're giving them an unrealistic expectation. And we're going to fail. Don't do that. Step one. Stop lying to your clients. Curt, I don't lie to my client. You do. You just told them I'll be 24/7. I'll always get right back to you within a few minutes. Stop saying that. If you're sitting there and you're with a client in the middle of showing them a house and they hit you up, you're going to go, oh, you know what, folks? I know you're important, but you're not as important as my other clients. I'm like, no, you're not. So you're not going to get back to them for half an hour, whatever that might be. So stop lying to people. You don't mean to. You're not bad people. You're not saying it because you're a horrible person. You're not. You're a great person. But you're setting a bad expectation for yourself. This is why you have anxiety. This is why you're running crazy. You're not valuing your time at all. You're not controlling it. You don't work hard.
And then that makes it impossible to deliver the experience.
Correct. There is no experience in that.
Right.
You're chasing the call. I'm chasing the return. It's hustle, run. Don't get me wrong. Oh, busy people stay busy, but they're not productive. Productive people are very busy being productive, right? Mm-hmm. This is where the difference is. And I know that's cliche, but you have to understand the layers in that. And that's what you're talking about.
Right.
The experience
goes. The difference, Curt, to everybody, when you say busy versus productive, explain the difference.
Yeah. When you're busy, right? I'm doing busy work and I'm chasing this and I'll get you this and I promised them this and I'll go get that. And I'm going to look up these things from them. You're not doing income producing activities, things that are going to net you money at that end of that piece of what you're doing, then you're not working the right way because you're not being productive. Don't get me wrong. Lead generation time has to be scheduled out. Let me give you a simple schedule. If this is being productive, right? If I'm going to be on a training call, like for my agents and my team, 7:30 to 8 a.m. every single day, I start them off Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. There's 3 to 5 of us that are coaches on the call. We do a training call for 30 minutes. We role play every scenario out there. Anything they've got, any objection they have, anything any client said to them the day before, or they know they're going into this meeting today. Hey, I'm meeting with a client, and here's their objection. Here's what they're at. How, walk me through this. Help me. Role play it out. We go through every scenario. We get it. Now we got their mindset right. That's a mindset piece, right? It's a good use of their time because they're working on their business. They're on the mindset. Now, at 8 o'clock, sharp, boom. Now they're calling. So now they're working in that business, right? They are calling clients. They're lead generating right now. All they're looking for is one buyer. Now, that buyer may or may not have a sell side attached to it. But the great news is if you talk to enough of them, need more people, you can get more listings, it comes together. That's how it works. So if I get one buyer on Monday and I'm done, just one in my 3-hour time slot, 8 to 11, that's what we're asking them. In those 3 hours, all these leads, I guarantee you one of them says, yes, I am looking to buy a house, and sure, houses. Now, if you did the same thing on Tuesday and you only got one buyer again who said, hey, well, chances are that buyer might have a house to sell too. So now you got a buyer and a seller in one. So Monday you got just a buyer. Tuesday you get a buyer seller. So that's 2 and 1. Okay? So I got one buyer, one seller. Wednesday, you know what? I don't know. The stars and the moon didn't align. It was a high tide. I don't know what happened. I couldn't even get one person to talk to me. People I did talk to, when they hung up on me, lead generated 0. So Monday I got 1, Tuesday I got 1 and 1, on Wednesday I got nothing, and then on Thursday I got one more buyer in play. That's all I got. Right? I'm not very good. I didn't hit out of the park, man. Very below average day. Just on those 4 days, John, I've got 3 buyers in play now, and I've got 1 seller. Right? So I've got 3 and 1. Well, if I do this for 4 weeks in a row for my month of August, what do I got, Johnny? Right? Now I've got 12 buyers in play, and I've got 4 listings.
4 listings, yeah. 4.
Right? Now, and you're a horrible agent. So you convert on half of these people. Well, my 12 is now 6, and my 4 is now 2. Now I've got I've got six buyers in play, and I've got only 2 listings in play. To be honest with you, I am one of the most god-awful agents on the planet. Therefore, I couldn't even get half of them either, Johnny. So cut that in half. What did you end up doing? Well, now it means I have 3 buyers buying with me this month, 1 listing that I got. Guess what I'm selling, right? I'm selling anywhere from 2 to 4 deals a month. I'm making 150, 200, depending on your price points. The higher the price, obviously, the higher that goes. But in a low market, a $200,000 market, I just paid $144,000. That's what that comes out to.
What stops people from that level of consistency? Or they run the treadmill, they do what they need to do, and then
here's exactly what happens. So this is the answer to the question you asked me a second ago. Walk you through being busy and being productive. That's very productive. You do it for 30 days, John. And they go, oh my God, John, you're a genius at work. Curt, you're so right. Oh my God, at work. You guys are amazing. You're like, right. Keep doing it. No. So I got these people and I'm showing houses now. And, and I got to work on them. And then they were talking about this and I'm going to try to find a landscaping guy for this sort of thing. Busy work, getting busy. And then you start getting caught up in yourself doing all the things that have nothing to do with generating more business. If you're not generating new business every single day, Monday through Thursday, just 4 days a week, 3 hours, you stop doing that, your pipeline is going to empty. Now you're just chasing, doing busy work. Nothing's productive.
Yep.
No money in that. That money's already, you made that money yesterday. You made it 2 weeks ago. You made it 3 weeks ago. You made it a month ago. That money you've already made, you've earned. Get the new money coming in, new business, NB. So my calendar, NB. Always lead gen, right? Then at 11 o'clock to 12 o'clock, that's your FU time. That's the follow-up time. And we all know the fortune is in the follow-up. The money's in the follow-up. Johnny Kitchens, matter of fact, you're the one who trained me on the best follow-up system I've ever seen. Of course, you shared it. You're amazing, and I love you for it. And I use it with my team and live by it. And it's the best thing I've ever seen out there. The fortune's in the follow-up. That is not busy work, people. That is productive work because we do all the front end productive work, but then we leave it and we get busy chasing our tail. We never follow up with these people doing busy work, non-productive. Guess what? We worked. Oh my God, I'm so busy. Ask your real estate agent. So how busy are you? Oh, am I busy? And I'm like, really? How many homes did you sell this month? Well, not 3 months ago I sold one, right? Right. And that's the stories you get.
I got some coming.
Right. And boy, I'm gonna be back on that treadmill again.
Hey, well, look out for me next month.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. And then I asked him, then what are you doing that's so busy? Oh, Curt, I do. I know how busy you are doing busy work, non-productive work. Stop doing the things that you like because they're easy and they take a lot of time. Bad move on you because you're not productive. You're not making any money. This is what happens. So I've said to a few agents, I pulled them and we did our I sit down with them. You haven't been productive. You haven't been closing deals. What's going on? Let them tell you about how the world just isn't treating them right. It's happened. However, you still have to earn an income. And if you're a provider, you're the provider of your family.
Yeah.
You better stay focused on that. Right?
Yeah.
So what happens is I asked them, I said, if I brought your husband in here, I had him watch what you do all day. Busy you are, not making any money, not productive. And he watched this. What would he think? He'd tell you, honey, you're killing it. You're great. Just keep doing all this busy work that doesn't pay a single bill for us.
Yeah.
What would he say? You know what? I think we need to talk. Guys, same thing. They're married. No, great. And I asked them. One of them's a younger kid, and he's not married. And I asked him, I said, what if I brought your parents? They watched you. Is that what you'd want to show them what you're doing over here? Because you've been on Facebook for like 3 hours, right? Then, you were shopping on Amazon for what? I don't know, 2 hours, right? And you were outside playing with your car and talking to the other guy. But you did take a 3-hour lunch because you gotta have lunch, you gotta eat. Ever imagine showing your kids, if you're an adult, have your kids see what dad does at work all day? Right. That doesn't do any money, and this is why he doesn't have any. This is what happens. So when I put it in that kind of layman's terms to them, it's embarrassing, to some extent, because it kind of get them to look in the mirror. So I keep in my drawer, I have a mirror. So I can solve all your problems right now. Look right here. Yep, there's a problem. Yeah. Okay? And it's enlightening because they're like, and then one, done it a few times. I'm like, don't pull out the mirror. Like, you want me to show you the problem, right?
Yeah, but that's what we need, great coaches. That's what we need. Great mentors, because we all have blind spots, right? It's what we reveal we can heal. And sometimes, that threshold of pain is not big enough, right? There's this big vision, these bigger future, but that's not the real driver for most people. The real driver is that pain. And, it's not real until it's real. And so, and the symptoms are there, right? You're shining the light because you see the symptoms and you know what's going to happen if they don't change their behavior.
100%. On them, and it's easy to fix, John. Right? Did you call your 3 hours of calls on Monday to make sure you lead generated one buyer?
Yeah.
Okay, then why not? Well, I got busy. Busy doing what?
Right.
Busy doing what? And I teach our agents too. When you get up in the morning, don't get on Facebook. Go on your Instagrams. Do not wake up and go there first. When you're having your morning call, well, I have my coffee, I'm doing. No, stop. Do not go there. That will be the biggest time suck you're going to do. Now, I've got agents, right? Those of the world, things like that. They live through their. Yeah, but you're lead generating on that go. It's very different than the ones that are on reading stories, videos. That's not what you need to do. That will suck up your time and it'll disappear that fast. You can't get that time back. So you can't start your day back over because you just started it and you sucked all this time out of it. And you sucked the life out of it. So if you really, 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 really want success, just lay out your schedule very clear first thing in the morning. 3 hours of your day is when you're making all your money.
Yeah.
That's where the value play is for yourself. So when people say, I do more by noon before you get out of bed, or I do more before, this, well, most of it's true because you're gonna fulfill the obligation of your day at that time. Before noon, I've accomplished all the financial things I needed to do on that day because I'm
100%.
happy, right? So then in the afternoon, now what am I doing? I'm probably working on my business. So for me, that's when I go into attraction mode. Okay, great. So mornings, it's team, it's production. Are we making money? Are we doing income producing activities? Are we killing it? Not. All right. Well, then afternoon, here's where now I'm working on my business. Right. And I'm very clear. So if you look at my calendars, hold it up and it's kind of like Wickman, put it from across the room, red, green, blue, red and yellow, green, whatever colors you use.
Dollar producing activities.
Sure. And you can look and see, right, exactly where you spend time. So when I'm building my business, I took a team from 14 agents at Keller Williams, we came to EXP and turned it to 124 agents. Growth. And then at the same time, but then I built, our expansion team, if you will, or our family. So we call it family, a team and a family. So my family agents, I'm just under 2,700. So pretty good amount of agents.
Amazing.
So if I can help them change their lives, if I can help them be more productive in their world, if I can teach them each to sell one more home a week, a month or a week, holy smokes, right? Now I've done something to really impact their lives in a positive way. So now, am I really a true giver? Am I being humble? Am I doing all the right things? Humble, smart, hungry. Yeah, I'm hungry as heck, right? So I've got to the point now where, okay, I understand more about leveraging my time and my money, right? So everybody, do the exercise. Write down the number 2080. That's 40 hours a week if that's all you really worked. And I pulled that room. Remember I told you about that event last week and I pulled the room. And most of them actually wanted to make double the money, like 3/4 of the room. I was shocked that they all wanted to double the money. And I'm looking at some of them and asked her, I said, how long have you been in real estate? I've been selling real estate 55 years. I was like, wow. I said, then I really need to help you because you shouldn't have to do this anymore. I love it. I said, I know you do. But if you don't sell another home the rest of your life, are you okay with it? No, I gotta eat. I go, exactly. And that's the problem. We leave ourselves open to the situation because they had no plan. They had no future. But somebody told them, right? Oh yeah, go buy some rentals and become a slumlord and go do your thing. Okay? There's a book about it, and the guy that wrote it built this huge organization. He did great. But it also says in there when the market's perfect, you sell them because they're at the height. You max out your profits. Well, when you do that, okay, and then they're like, "Well, go buy new ones." Well, if I sell them at the height, that means I got to buy them at the height. So don't do that. So then they say, "Okay, well, hold on to that. Hold on to money." Well, that's never going to help me. Can't save my way to wealth. I've got to have it invested. Put it somewhere else, so you got to do this. And again, now is my money, right? Buying my time back. So when I added my passive income, to your point with ESP, that buys all my time back. So now I make the money I want to make. So check it out. So I told all of them when we were done with the exercise, looking to double your income, great. I can show you that really easy. You want to make more money in real estate? It's really simple, right? There's 2 ways you can make more money doing what you're doing right now today without selling an additional house. Charge more commission, so increase what you make per, right? Or double the price point. So if you're selling 200,000 houses, start selling 400,000 houses.
Yeah.
400,000 houses, get in the luxuries game, start selling 800,000 houses.
Right.
So you can either, one, double your income by doubling your price point, or increase your income by increasing your commission. So those 2 things you can do without changing what you're already doing. Selling.
There's only a handful of ways. This is where people get tripped up. There's only a handful of ways to exponentially grow your business. That's
correct.
one.
You're only one person. Johnny, how many people can you put in the car with you at a time to go show houses?
Well, you run out of daylight, right? You run out of daylight.
One at a time. That's all you can do. You can't, okay, I got you 3 families. Everybody hop in my car. Well, we're going to stop first and show them their houses. And then we're going to go show your houses. Then we're going to look at houses for these guys. You can't do that, right? You can only take one at a time. So if you're not leveraging, talk about that for a sec if you'd like, you're not leveraging your time, when you're leveraging yourself, you're missing the whole boat. So I took that room, pulled them 3/4 money. I said, okay, watch this. We can increase your money by this. To your point, Johnny, there's only a couple ways to do it. Pretty limited. Well, there's like I said, so if I showed you how to prospect better, I showed you how to own your time better, and I got you to actually double your income. I showed you that today. You'd all be happy. They're all like, yes. I said, okay. Now, if I showed you that, what if I did this? What if I showed you how to double your money? Then I showed you how to get half your time back. What if I showed you first how to get half your time back? And then we took that other time and we just without you spending money. Now I've done both. I've doubled your income, but I bought half your time back, because if you're not leveraging yourself, then you're never going to have this, right? Warren Buffett, right? Finish this for me. A penny saved, Johnny, is
penny earned.
No, he said a penny's a penny.
Penny's
right?
a penny.
Not changing.
Penny's a penny.
Penny's a penny.
They don't even make pennies anymore. Come on, Curt.
Yeah, they even stopped making them. You're right. But that's the problem, is we keep thinking a penny saves a penny earned because we've been taught that. Well, save your first communion money, and I promise you, you'll still be broke when you're this age.
Right.
It's not going to save. You can't save your way to wealth. You've got to bring in other ways of money.
You know what, Curt? Just to that point. One of the top things that stop entrepreneurs, small business owners, real estate agents from growing is that they try to hoard too much money and they don't reinvest it back into the growth of their business. And I know where you're kind of going with this, with the leverage piece, is it's that scarcity mindset, but it also comes back to the relationship with money. And that typically is, ingrained in, their upbringing, their grandparents, their parents, their relationship with money. And until you understand, and it gets into kind of what's scrolling on the bottom here, learning how to get in the right rooms around the right people that can change your thinking and your relationship to money, you're stuck. You are so stuck.
Yes. And I am a perfect example of that. I think at some point we all are. Look at the greatest people who invented these companies out there. Well, it's because they failed at the first 150 companies that they tried to do, and then they finally hit a home run. People they just remember the home runs. Nobody remembers all the failures. This one's amazing. They've done this. Well, that's because they learned how to leverage other people. And this is really the key to the whole thing. So leverage starts with proximity. So proximity is what? Proximity, the definition of proximity is nearness in space, nearness in time, and nearness in relationship. So
that's good.
I want to be in the room with Johnny Kitchens. I know my whole life improves. I'm in a room with this guy. I can be in there for 1 hour with him. What would you pay for that? Oh my God, I would pay a lot to get in the room with this guy for an hour. Well, oh shit. Johnny Kitchens is in a room with 5 other people that are even above where he's at. What would I pay to get in that room and sit at that table? What would that conversation sound like? Okay. So that's the proximity. I have got to get in their space. If I'm not in their space, I'm not going to hear these nuggets. The old success leaves clues. We've all heard that. What does it really mean? What it means is if I sit down and I just listen, right? Shut up and listen. These people that are at the level I'm trying to get to or above that level, if I just do that, guess what? I'm going to learn the greatest education of my life because they're doing what I'm hoping to do or above what I'm hoping to do. And they're going to be telling me exactly how to do it in their conversation about me.
Yeah.
That's where success leaves clues. Clues are ask the right question, you'll get the right answer. Ask good questions, you get the answers to the test.
I love that. I mean, you just made me reflect on a bunch of stuff. And, I tie a lot of our, business growth and business development, back to Jay Abraham. And one of the things why Jay loves us so much is that we were the most asking questions,
right.
Relentlessly just explain that. What do you mean? Help us, like, just not afraid to ask those questions. And Curt, how come you see a lot of people that maybe can get at that table, yet they don't take advantage of that opportunity? How come they don't ask questions?
Well, okay, here's why. And I know you already know the answer to this. I love you setting me up for it. It's really easy. There's two reasons that they don't. Pride and ego. So what happens is we sit at the table and what do we want to talk about? Talk about us. Think about this, John. When's the last time you talked to a real estate agent and you say, hey, how's it going? Or you ask them a real estate question. The first part of the answer that they give you. So hypothetically, you said, so Curt, I'm trying to write up this thing on this listing and I'm running into a problem. Can you help me out here? You got any advice from me on that? I'd say, yeah, John, being the guy that's been in the game for 18 years, and I'm a $12 million producer, in my best year I did 15, 16 million, but I average about $12 million in production and I do list a lot of homes. So being that, yeah, my answer would be, yeah, here's what you would do. They always insist on wanting to tell you about their production, right? And what they'll usually be telling you is about the best year they ever had, which was probably 5, 6, 7, 12, 15 years ago. And it's hilarious to me.
A long time ago.
Right? I've never met an agent that doesn't want to spew all their stats on you. And it's like, did I ask you anything about how many homes you sold? I asked you about this. Hey, you know how to write up a well and septic inspection addendum? Well, yeah, because I sell on average 120 homes a year. And well, I did that about 6, 7 years ago, my best year. But, I'm still a top producer. I'm in the 1% of my office. So I still sell a lot of homes. So, yeah, that addendum, I would probably check with my team. You know what I mean? It's like, what?
It's funny because it's true. That's why, Curt. It's funny because it's true.
So that's what happens. So what happens, John, is they sit at this table. They're at the right table. My goodness, they finally hit the home run. They're at the table of all tables. And what happens is they want to talk about themselves. They want to beat their chest because they feel, right? They're not bad people. So I don't mean it's like you're a bunch of jerks. I know I use them impersonating someone. But the thing is, because that actually happened. But what it is they feel the need to tell the people why they're at the table, right? That they deserve to be at the table because I've earned this because I'm this, and this, or I've done this, or I want to do this, and I promise I want to be good. So I'm at this table. And so what happens is they just run their mouth. They spew a bunch of stuff that turns these people off. So what's happening is they're like, oh, great. This guy trying to tell me how great he is. Oh, okay. Woo, really glad I met you. What's happening is you're turning them away from you. You're not bringing them towards you. So, right, it's the law of attraction. I want them to come towards me. Well, I know that everybody's 3 favorite subjects are me, myself, and I. Mm-hmm. So I know if I'm at that table, even when somebody engages me, because typically the higher up the food chain these people are, typically they're the ones that shut up. They'll ask a question and they'll just listen, right? They shut up. They just listen. They're always trying to learn. They don't think they know everything. Agents who think they are people that think they know everything and they want to impress everybody go there and usually they run their mouth long enough to eventually we're like, if we really do know, we're like, well, I already know you don't know what the hell you're talking about. I actually did. Because you just tried to impress me with this much knowledge of astrophysics. I know you don't know shit about astrophysics because I'm an astrophysicist, right? And this is the kind of thing that happens. Or we get a room full of doctors and we start trying to talk about, well, that vascular heart surgery, and I know that it takes about 7 to 12 hours. That's how it works. Why are you trying to impress somebody that you know already knows? What are you doing? You're going in the wrong direction. So they want to tell them about themselves. They want to brag on themselves. They want to talk about themselves because that's the only thing they talk about. Miss the boat and they push these people away. The law of attraction is where if you ask me a question, so Curt, nice to meet you. Yeah, so where are you from? What do you do? I'm in real estate. Oh, no kidding. How's the market? Market's been fantastic. What do you do for a living? Well, I'm in such. It's like, no kidding. I need to know my audience before I run my mouth. Right? I better know who I'm talking to. So, you have to stop for a second. Stop thinking it's about you, because it's never about you. It's always about you. It's never about you. It's about them. Right? It's your world. You own this, but it's about them. And when you start learning how to ask the question, defer the question back to another question from them, answer them with a question, then you're going to get them to talk about what? Their three favorite subjects.
Themselves.
The more successful people, Johnny, what happens is nobody ever asks them about them anymore. They ask them about their business. They ask them about their success. They ask them about their money. Where do I put money? What should I do with all this money? If I had your money, what are you doing with your money? Now I learn what to do with mine. If I only had this much and you did that, they're talking about that. Nobody ever gives them the time of day to tell them, tell me about you, John.
Yeah.
Where did you start? I asked you one question, John, and I only have a second. I just respect the hell out of you and really appreciate you. And I thank you for your time and even just having a conversation with me. I'm very excited about that. I could ask you, what's the one piece of advice you would give a guy like me who's trying to go this direction? I know that you're here, but would you advise me to keep failing until I get there? Or would you advise me to avoid certain pitfalls? Or what's that piece of advice that you give?
Yeah.
You will be blown away.
Blown away. And when you get into one of those rooms, one of my favorite questions, and it's not to, sell yourself short, right? It's like, hey, we've both have had a tremendous amount of success in our career. I'm curious, Curt, what's most important to you right now?
What a great question.
Boom. Right. So you're not like deep, you're not like, hey, no, we're here. We're in the same room. Hey, I got in this room. You're in this room. We both deserve to be here. Yeah. I'm just curious, Curt, what's most important to you right now? When you ask that question and you just shut up and let them go, you'll find out everything, because you'll find out where their mind is and where their goals are. And this goes back to getting in the right rooms, asking the right questions at the right time. And people want to be around people that are, curious, right? You want to be curious, you want to be intriguing, just you got to be that person. You got to ask those questions. And it's it definitely is, just takes a little bit of awareness.
It does. I share this with you. I went to Utah a couple of weeks back, and I went to a giant mastermind there. It was incredible, the people there. There was only a couple, 2-3 real estate people in the room out of there. And one of them was a guy named Dan Clark. And Dan Clark is one of the most incredible people you'll ever have the experience to meet. Man has done so many things. His life has gone in such directions. He's written so many books. He's actually a country songwriter. He's written songs for some of the biggest stars out there, and those are his songs. And it's amazing what this guy's done. And he's a speaker, and it's amazing. He was the guy do you remember when Nancy Reagan was in the White House and Ronald Reagan was our president? Nancy did the Just Say No to Drugs. That was his to own. So he had to run that, and he had to be the Just Say No guy for that entire campaign for them to run that. That's how he got into that circle. The next thing you know, when you're in circles in the White House and you're working for the president, all of a sudden you start working for a whole lot of people at this level. And then you're working for the next president, and then you met the next president, and then they're asking advice. Then you're helping write speeches. And this is what happens, right? So I met this guy, one of the most dynamic, incredible guys I ever met. All I did, John, was because honestly, I was very intrigued with, like, oh my God. Then he shows me that, here's me on Air Force One, and here's me on this, and I'm just like, wow, tell me more. Now, there wasn't anything in it for me to go, oh, I can certainly change my real estate career by talking to this guy. No, it was, this guy can really fill some pieces in my life that make my mind go in a whole lot of places that I never even thought to go. I kept asking this guy so many questions. He's like, well, the guy loves it, right?
You know what? What he's thinking of you, Curt, is interesting.
Yes, he did.
Because you were interested.
That's it. He was so incredible. I spent so much time talking to him because all I kept asking him was a question. I went back to my cabin that night. I wrote down notes from the things that he had said to me because I didn't want to forget them. I was like, these are so amazing things. And then, of course, right before I go at first night, he goes, well, you have one of my books if you're interested. I'm like, I'm only interested if you autograph it for me. So
I love it.
and he does, and he's like, you know what? I really like you. I gotta be honest. I really like you. I go back that night. I sat in my room and I started reading through his book, and I didn't have time to read the whole thing, so I kept flipping to different pieces. Reading. Why? I want to know what questions I'm asking him tomorrow, and I was so excited for the next day to sit in a room with this guy again, and then to get my 5 minutes with him where I got to ask a couple questions, and he's like, "Hey, when we break for lunch, come sit with me. I'd love to talk to you more about that. I would love to." Now I'm in proximity with this guy, right? Because I'm in his space. So then what happens? I ask the right questions to your point, Johnny. Now I get on this guy's time. This guy's like, yeah, hey, I got to tell you this, this. On the third day, we have this mastermind. Everybody has to pick one person that really was most impactful to them on this mastermind. And he stands up and he says, this guy, Curtis Shewell, who I never met before, I didn't even know who he was. He goes, this guy really made me tap into things that I haven't thought about 20, 30 years. Because this guy is a kindred brother, a kindred soul to me. This guy, we are on the same plane. He goes, I relate to this guy. His life, my life, even though they went in completely different directions, were very similar in the way we see things, think of things, and experience things. So he started asking me a million questions about me. So we started talking about my story. Then he would relate it, right? Oh my God, let me tell you about that. Oh my God, let me share this with you. And it was like I had known this guy my
forever. Yeah.
Right. And it was wonderful. And he said that to me. He goes, I swear you're my little brother that I've always wanted. And what a nice thing for him to say. And we kept in contact, and I'm so excited to keep talking, and keep that relationship. Yeah. And I don't know where that goes. I don't know if it ever goes anywhere other than the fact that I am certainly more fulfilled and enriched, right? Enriched by being in this guy's space, because now I'm on his time and now I'm in his relationship. So nearness in time, nearness in space, nearness in time, nearness in relationship. That's proximity. This guy's proximity. When he did, he introduced me to 5 other people that were like this. Of course he did. He's opening doors because he wants to. That's how this works.
This is, I mean, you summed up the entire topic, the entire conversation just in that story. And I want to emphasize something here. And this is something that I feel we're one of the best in the world at when it comes to small business entrepreneur, especially residential real estate agents, that they don't quite understand is that if you only pay attention, if you're only getting into the rooms that they're talking about how to sell more real estate, you're only going to grow incrementally. The story that Curt just shared, and I want you guys to take like heart to this. If you truly want to grow exponentially, you have to get in rooms that are outside of your industry, because if you're just doing what everybody's doing in your industry, you're only going to grow incrementally, maybe 6 or 7%. But if you want to have the hockey stick, you want to have the exponential growth, then you have to get in rooms outside of your industry for people that you admire, that are doing things that really interest you, that, you know, just can kind of, where you can kind of relate, that you're interested in. And like for you, that will cause an exponential jump, probably most importantly in your life, and in your relationships, which then transform and carry over, which is direct proportion to the size of your business, right? You know, Curt, I don't believe if your business is not where you want it to be, it's because it's equal to the size of your leadership capabilities. And so like you look like Mark, right? You know, Mark can only get to so point, but then you interject leadership with the Curt, and then that just allows it to go to another level. And that's the lesson that I really want everybody to understand. And like I said, it's what I, most of the people listening to this are Honey Badger Nation. And I want you guys to realize what you have available to you is you have people that are doing big things within the industry. And it's because they're paying attention to things outside of the industry. I mean, EXP wouldn't be where it's at unless, you model things outside of the real estate industry and apply it. And it's allowed it to have the exponential growth that it's had.
100%. God, I love that. I'm going to record just that piece, John. It's freaking awesome. What a summary. And you're so right. And it's this. I'll give you 2 things. One is we in America, in our world, and even in real estate, we measure success on money. Right? Money represents success to us, because if I don't have any money, then I haven't had any success in real estate. And it doesn't mean that's necessarily true, but that's how we measure it. That's how people in general measure success, is based on money. Well, here's the thing. If you were born broke, that's not on you. But if you die broke, that's 100% on you. Right?
Yeah.
So don't go down that path. You're the captain of your ship, right?
Yeah.
So you're the author of your story.
Right.
What is your story? Because here's what's cool about your story. Your story, you get to pick the actors in it. You get to pick the characters. And if you don't like a character, you get to kill them off.
Change the character.
Right? You bet. You get to change the scenery where you are. Nothing is limiting you to anything except for, don't give me the excuses about, well, this. Life happens to all of us, right? We all have a story. We're not going down there today. We all have a story.
Sure.
So, right? So if you really want to throw stories at every single person sitting, we'll just sit around sing Kumbaya to everybody and just hug and go, okay, it'll all be okay. No, it won't. It won't be okay until you do something. We talk about knowledge being power. Knowledge is nothing but words or written or something you read on a piece of paper unless you enact it.
Mm-hmm.
If you enact the knowledge, that is so powerful. So to your point, meeting Dan Clark, this guy is such an amazing person, amazing human being, that I learned so much in my couple of days of side conversations with him that it was amazing to me. And like you said, I am going to totally launch to that next level, that step of my life, of my business, based on getting to know this guy. That's what it did, to your point, outside, because he's not thinking the way we're thinking, because we're thinking the same thing. We're on this little hamster wheel. He's like, if you check out this wheel,
yeah, there's a whole other wheel over here.
This guy's been up in a military plane right at the edge of the atmosphere where you can see the curvature of the earth. Like, wow, right? There's only like a handful of people in the world have ever done this. He's done it. So it's amazing stuff. So when you get outside of this, the knowledge he spewed into me was, like you said, it's just exponential to my growth as a business person, as a human, as fulfilling my life, fulfilling all kinds. My mind thinks very differently after talking to this man. Lousy days for a few minutes here, a few minutes there, maybe an hour here, 2 hours there. That's what changes everything. So I am blown away.
It'll never go back.
So it's really cool. Yeah, I'm pretty excited. The second thing is, you brought up like Mark Z. The Honey Badger Nation, everybody that does watch this, thanks for staying to the end here and listening to us. Maybe I can give you this. The coolest thing that happened to me was when Mark Z gave me a call. Me and Mark had known each other for about 8 years before we came to EXP. Different brokerages, never worked together. But we always thought, boy, it'd be really cool to work with this guy. And he thought it'd be cool to work with me. And I thought it'd be cool to work with him. We just could never figure out financially how to align that where it made sense. It just didn't. Either I had to work for him, I wasn't going to do that, or he was franchising my broker and he wanted to do that. So we were never able to figure out how that was going to work. So being able to partner with him was amazing, because the EXP opportunity came. So remember, it's always about opportunities. If you're not looking at the door of opportunity, then shame on you. When a door opens, take a look in it. Don't jump in every single pond you see. You don't know if there's alligators in that pond. So don't jump in blindly, but take a look at every door that's open in front of you. But if you're in proximity with these people, you can leverage them to open doors that you need to get into. Those lead to the rooms where the people are that are the next level that you need to meet. Right? For me, that phone call, Mark said, have lunch with me. He said, I'm putting you on a conference call, and I'm going to tell these guys that you're my guy and you're a baller. And I was just like, God, I don't even belong in the room. And who he put me on a call with? Jay Kender, Brent Gove, Curtis Johnson, Dan Beer, Mark, and myself. This is who I met before we started at EXP on a conference call. Here I get the lowdown. The only one I knew who they were was Jay Kender. I did not know who the other guys were. Mark explained to me who each guy was. I said, wow, I'm going to get on this call. I thought I'm going to be blown away by all this real estate knowledge, negotiation skills or something. This is going to be a cool ass call. Well, I get on this call, 30 minutes, we hang up, and my jaw is just down here. I am like, what was that? I felt like that cartoon character where you're standing in the window and your hair and your face is like pulled back, like, what just happened to me, right? And it was amazing because they talked about real estate in a business form, not about buying and selling houses. It was the most incredible 30 minutes at the time in my business life.
Yeah.
Because it just completely, what do you call it, mind freaked you, right?
Yeah.
It did.
That's
and I was just like, oh my God. And Mark always tells the story because I started pacing in his office Oh my God, here's what we're going to do. Like, oh my God, here's what we're going to do. That was on a Friday. I started. I had a brokerage. I had to break away my ties, do the whole thing. So it was quite the thing. But that was the most amazing, right, influential call at the time in my life from a real estate business, because these guys understood the business and how to do it.
Yeah,
that was getting me in the right room. Now I pick up a call. I can pick up Curtis Johnson,
call anybody.
Michael Reese, Alvy Stacey, Cliff, Go. I call any of these guys and they take my call.
Curt.
Right? Call Curt, right? So, yeah. So it's pretty cool stuff. That's how the proximity thing starts happening. And then they're telling me, let us teach you how to leverage us. And I'm like, wait a minute. Really? Yes. Financial alignment is the most beautiful thing on the planet. It changes your life if you let it, if you understand the proximity and how to get there. Johnny Kitchen gave you probably one of the best lines you could use to start a conversation with somebody. Let them do all the talking, ask about them, let them do it. Be in space with them. If they like you, guess what? You started that relationship, and then you just got to pick up your pace because they're on a faster time tread than you are. Get up on their speed, now you're on their time. That's proximity. Now you can leverage. They'll let you leverage because they'll teach you to leverage. They want you to leverage. They'll open the doors. Your life.
I love
That's how you win.
Absolute gold, as always, Curt. I appreciate you, man. Appreciate your time. Thank you so much. I know this won't be the last. We'll look forward to having you back on in the near future.
Love talking to you, Johnny. You pick a time. Let's go. I'll have fun with it. Thank you so much. I love you, brother. I appreciate you all the time.
See you guys.
Take care, guys.
Bye.